Hello everybody, my name is Qasim Faraji. I'm the Master of Multilingualism at the University of Constance, Germany. In this very first lesson, I'm going to teach you how to speak German and how to learn German from scratch. Please follow this video series and you're going to be able to talk in German like never before. Learning German with this method and with my method has never been this much easy. Please follow. Now, to cut a very long story short, I'm going to tell you that English is the baby or is the child of German language. Basically, German is the mother. Now remember that. German is the mother of English language. And if somebody speaks English, the good news is you already know more than 60% of the words. And you're going to see a ton of similarities between these two languages. Contrary to the common belief, people think that English is similar to German and English is the older language. Well, English is a very old language indeed. However, German is the root language. Now remember that. So if we use S at the beginning of a word, this S has the sound of Z. And IE in German has always the sound of E. Now, if we combine these two words, we're going to get a combination of Z, which means the plural you in German. Now, if you want to refer to someone formally and that someone is just one person, you're going to say Sie. The sound of infinitive in English is to ing and then the ber infinitive. The ber infinitive is basically has no sign whatsoever. Now, if somebody says, for example, the verb to go is the infinitive, going is the gerund, and go is the ber infinitive. But we consider all of them as infinitives in English. Now, the sound of infinitive, I mean, the equivalent of to ing and ber infinitive in German is en. This en is used at the end of the words in German. Now, I'm going to show you how. Sorry for my typos because my keyboard is a German keyboard and it is really problematic. So en is actually the sound of infinitive in German, which is used at the end of the words. It is also important to note that we do not have the ing in German. Well, there are some ways through which we could express a continuous action in German, but as a verb we do not have such a thing, so as an independent verb. Now I'm going to continue telling you that the verb wollen in German means to want, wanting, and also want. Now wollen means to want, wanting, want. Or for example, machen means to make, making, and make. Or also to do, doing, to do, doing, and also do. Now remember that this ch has the sound of che. This is something, this sound is very common in German. We have it also in Spanish. We say Jorge or Juan. Now remember, machen, and this en at the end of the verbs is pronounced syllabically. So basically a non-native pronunciation would be machen, whereas a native pronunciation would be machen. Now remember that. Anyway, this formal Z is always combined with the sound of infinitive, which is wollen. The verb must be in incomplete form. Now remember that. If you want to say you want in German, you would say Sie wollen. Sie wollen means you want. Now if I want to make a question out of this, basically the question would be the reversal of the subject and the verb. Then in this case we would say wollen Sie. Now the question mark, wollen Sie means do you want. Now remember, Sie wollen means you want. If you want to make a question out of this, you would say wollen Sie means do you want. Now to negate the sentence, we use the negation marker in English, which is not. The equivalent in German is nicht. Now you hear a different pronunciation from ch here, which is che. it is not exactly sh in English, but this is she, like someone who has a lisp, or instead of saying, for example, nicht, they would, instead of saying nicht, they would say nicht, where nicht is the correct form. This is what you need to know. Now, if you want to say you don't want, you say Sie wollen nicht. Sie wollen nicht means you don't want. For making this to a question negative one, all you need to know is to reverse the subject and the verb. Then here in this case we would say wollen Sie, which we had before, which was the sentence number 2. Now here we add nicht. Sie wollen Sie nicht means don't you want. Now remember, this is how we make sentences in German, and this is very important to follow. So sentence number 1 is Sie wollen, means you want. So sentence number 1 is Sie wollen. Sentence number 2 is wollen Sie. This is a question, means do you want. Sentence number 3 is Sie wollen nicht, means you don't want. Sie wollen nicht means you don't want. And if you want to say don't you want, you would say wollen Sie nicht. Wollen Sie nicht. This is sentence number 4. Now we're going to continue by saying was in German is a WH question. The WH question is always added at the beginning, is used at the beginning of the sentence. What you need to remember here is after this Fragezeichen in German, or WH question in German, was, which means what in English, we need to use a sentence which has already been or changed into a question. Now remember, was must be followed by a verb here. Now this is wollen Sie, sentence number 2. So this was plus or plus wollen Sie is sentence number 5, means what do you want? What do you want? Sentence number 6, as you might have guessed, is was wollen Sie nicht? Basically the above sentence plus nicht. Was wollen Sie nicht? You may ask yourself why I have used this Sie with the capital S everywhere within these sentences, no matter where it is. Now, this is something you need to remember. This letter at the beginning of this pronoun, the formal pronoun, must always be used in a capitalized format or capitalized version. Very important to know, no matter where it is. Whether at the beginning of the sentence, the middle of the sentence, or at the end of the sentence. Anyway, in any way, shape, and form, this word must be used with the first capitalized letter, which is S, and you can see it here. Now, we formed 6 sentences in German. So this is a declarative sentence. Sie wollen means you want. This is a question declarative sentence, which is wollen Sie means do you want. Now, this is a declarative negative sentence in German, which is Sie wollen nicht. Declarative negative question, which is wollen Sie nicht. Now, Sie wollen nicht means Sie wollen nicht means you don't want. Wollen Sie nicht means don't you want. Now, what do you want? Was wollen Sie? Now, remember, this was is used at the beginning of the sentence, and in English is basically the same thing. So English and German, when it comes to auxiliaries, they have different formats. For example, in present tense in English we use the auxiliary do, whereas in German there is no auxiliary. Now you say, for example, you go, but if you want to ask a question out of this, you would say do you go. The question you may ask is, where did this do at the beginning of do you go come from? We have no idea. This is just an auxiliary verb. You need to memorize in advance. You need to know it in advance if you want to, for example, talk in English. So here there is no auxiliary. Basically, you would say was wollen Sie means what do you want? Now, what don't you want is Was wollen Sie nicht? Was wollen Sie nicht? We could make a lot of sentences out of this. Now, this is the very first lesson. I'm going to give you 2 more verbs so that you can conjugate, so that you can use the verb in basically these 6 sentences. Now, I'm going to write the verbs here. The next verb is sagen. Sagen means to say, saying, say, or to tell. Now I'm going to write the English version. Sagen means to tell or even to say. But you understand the difference between to tell and to say, and I'm not going to delve into that. So to say or to tell or to say. Here, again, the German keyboard. Sorry, guys. So, and the next verb would be machen, which I said before. So machen means basically to do or even to make. Now, I hope, guys, you enjoyed this short tutorial. I hope I could have changed your idea about learning German. Well, there has been a book written in Persian by myself because I'm a writer, and I'm translating the book from Persian to English. Basically, the book is Persian to German. Now, the new version is going to be English to German. Now, you're going to use German. You're going to learn German via this book, and I'm going to be teaching you this book here on our YouTube channel. If you like this content to be produced more in future, such contents, please follow, subscribe, and share our video. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in lesson number 2. Goodbye, guys.